Chloe when she performs, how she's just so like
very extra
and stuff, and they be getting on her about it on Twitter. But when you go back to Beyonce's early performances,
Beyonce came down from the ceiling. I'm like, dang, this girl can sing. When you just sing and touch, you touching my soul. Like, I'm getting goosebumps. I'm like, oh my gosh, like this is what I paid for. Like, this is amazing. What's up, SCVs? It's your girl Desiree. Hey.
And it's your girl Myla.
And welcome back to the BEYHIVE Podcast. For today's episode, I already forgot the topic. What we want to get?
We are going to be talking about who is the next Beyonce. Out of all the up and coming girls we have, who is giving Beyonce star quality, Beyonce talent? Who is giving us just Beyonce?
Yeah. But stick around for that, because we're gonna put like our little twist into this conversation. So before y'all start commenting, just wait, you know. But first, we're gonna do our song of the day. Maya, what we say your song of the day is?
I may have stolen yours, but I want to say Diva. Just because we were just listening to that, and every time I hear that song, I'm just like, she really went off on this. Like, when you really, really listen to it and hear the words, it's just like, in that beat, it's just,
she said, stop the track. Let me say facts. I told you, give me a minute and I'll be right back. Like, every time she does that, she's always referencing like whenever like she has a kid, and then she's like, I'll be right back. And she really do. So I love that song also because there's different variations when she performs it live. So anytime anytime she goes on tour, I'm like, okay, like I kind of want to see what she's gonna do with Diva. And shout out to Blue Ivy for fighting to keep Diva in. She's like, Mom, no, Diva, Mom, no. So
because I love that part of the Renaissance tour is like, what a money, what did she say?
What a money, what a money.
Yeah.
Storm's like, what?
That's one of my favorite parts.
No, for real.
Is that also your song too?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to say my song of the day too, and she also remixes it, like when she's on tour, she'll remix that Diva with like some like kind of like a rap song, and so for Renaissance she did it with Little Uzi Vert's I Just Wanna Rock. She's like I just wanna It's hard to do, but I love how she did her like little twist. So anytime she performs Diva, I just think she just always does it a little different than she did the last tour, and I always appreciate that. So
I personally love when Beyonce raps, because she really, if she wanted to be a rapper full time and just do a strict rap album, even without Jay-Z, I feel like she really could.
Without Jay-Z. I just want to hear Beyonce, okay? I love Jay-Z, but I want to hear just strictly rap Beyonce whole album.
Yes, like that would
in really, everybody's career, okay?
That would really make my life for sure. But
no, for real.
Of course, we're gonna start off with some updates. So nothing crazy, but people have been pointing out on the Ben Country website that there was a picture of a ticket added that says the Miss Carter show, and it's specifically from like July 15, 2013. So it's like, we don't really know what that's about, but people are already like, please don't go on tour.
Because I'm like, Beyonce, I don't got the money right now. I'm actually about to go out the country for the first time, so my money's going towards that. I know, I'll be so happy. I'll probably update, when I come back. But so with that and like other things, I still gotta pay my car tax. I just did my all these grown up stuff, and I'm like, I don't got Beyonce ticket budget right now. So can she wait like at least one more year?
Yeah.
Because next year I could probably do it, but this year, like, Beyonce, come, like, please.
Yeah.
We've barely been covering for Renaissance.
Literally, and I think that's been the conversation with everybody too. Since
we broke.
It's like, hopefully she can like read the room and know like it's not the time yet.
I pray and hope, because that would be a lot, and it's not even just a ticket. It's like the outfit and getting there, preparing.
It's costly.
Yeah, but we'll see.
Yeah, and then also along with the ticket too, there's a picture of Chuck Berry on the website, and Chuck Berry is known as like the father of rock and roll. So I'm like, I don't know what that means, but it has to mean something.
Act 3's coming out, y'all, and it's gonna be rock and roll.
Right. I really think so too. But then I'm wondering, like, she hasn't even really addressed what this website is and what website means. So I'm like, it's just random pictures that pop up and random stuff. But it's like, what is this website?
I'm like, Beyonce, can you just one album? Can there be no surprises? And can you just tell us and not be so secretive like the Virgo you are? Like, I love it, but sometimes I want to know, like what's going on so I can prepare my wallet, you know. But I mean, I'm excited for anything that Beyonce does, so I'm sure I am going to spend my money somehow, some way.
For sure.
But yeah.
And it's just like, it's hard to say too because we just got Cowboy Carter, so it's like,
yeah, that's true.
Like, I don't know. You just never know. We'll see. But we're documenting it here. That's where that's on the website now. So maybe later we can come back to it and realize, like, okay, that makes sense. But yeah. So getting into our topic, when we're thinking of like who's the next Beyonce, it's like, who are really her daughters? Like, you know, people you can tell by their music or by their performances, like they were definitely inspired by her, they definitely studied her, or maybe even just some people that have literally like been like actually like shaped by her and worked with her. So we have a list. So you said like her actual daughters,
Blue and Remy, we can't forget them,
right?
Because Blue performed with her a little bit on the Renaissance tour, and I mean, she seemed like she was really dedicated to, you know, perfecting or just being a dancer. And you know, I guess she's only like 12, so she has like her whole life ahead of her and to develop and to learn from the best. Like literally, your mom's Beyonce. Like I'm so sorry, but not that I'm sorry, but I wish Beyonce was my mama. Like, that'd be pretty cool. But,
yeah. Or being growing up in that. And then also, too, which I guess that could have been an update, but they're doing the Lion King movie. Yeah. And she's actually, like, one of the voice actors in it, too. Okay. So it'll be interesting to see her grow up and like what is she going to do? Is it going to be music? Is it going to be acting? Like what interests is she going to have?
Yeah, and I hope that it's like it's a space where she's able to be herself and not have that pressure of like you're Beyonce's daughter, so you need to like be like her, or you know, I feel like she'll be the Blue Ivy, you know, like she'll be her own person, her own right, and create her own legacy and everything.
Yeah, right. I love that. Just like how there's like, when you said that, it made me think of like Tracy Ellis Ross. Like people know her for her, and then there's people that are like, "Oh my gosh, I didn't know that was Diana."
I didn't know that either. I don't think I knew it until like I remember watching Girlfriends, and I had no idea. And maybe it wasn't until like I was in college where I'm like, wait, her last name is Ross. Like,
wow,
duh, that makes sense.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I think I don't remember when I had that epiphany, but it just shows you like, okay, she really made a name for herself.
Yeah,
because you know how they be trying to get on the nepo.
The nepo babies. I hope my kid's a nepo baby. Shoot, I wouldn't mind. Right. I want to be nepo baby.
No, for real. But and then of course, Chloe is someone that we know literally she's signed to her and Halle are signed to Parkwood.
So mentored by Beyonce.
Right, and I think just they're kind of like a good example of like Beyonce's daughters too in music, just because of how when you see them, even just as far as like media training, like we never hear any like scandals. They don't be outside doing the most. They're very professional and very into like their careers. Yeah. And then I think we even talked about it before, but like Chloe, when she performs, how she's just so like
very extra
and stuff. And They be getting on her about it on Twitter, but when you go back to Beyonce's early performances...
Beyonce came down from the ceiling and doing...
literally rolling around on the ground and
shaking, vibrating.
And Chloe does that, and I feel like people taunt her about it now, and she kind of even addressed it as I'm an artist, so I'm supposed to be that's a performer.
Why I paid to see you, to put on a performance, not just to stand there. Which I think the other two people we were going to mention too is Victoria Monét, and Doja Cat.
Yeah,
they put on really good performances as well.
Oh yeah, definitely. Especially with Victoria actually started off as a dancer at first, so I think that's where the foundation of her stage presence is because she's a really good dancer, and then of course the singing is just so effortless. So I think she has those same qualities, those same kind of star qualities and foundation to be a Beyonce of our generation.
Yeah.
Doja Cat, I think Doja Cat as well, all of those things, but I think with Doja Cat for me, it's she's so versatile, and that's a big thing with Beyonce. We get R&B, we get pop, we get rap, we get country, we get
a lot.
She's really, there's no box to specifically put her in, which is why people consider her kind of a pop artist now, because she does everything. Doja Cat is already embodying that, but I can really see later on down the line her kind of her career just being so much bigger than it is now. But I think with her, really the authenticity to
she don't care. She's this is me, you take it or leave it kind of attitude, you know.
Yeah, she's very much authentically herself.
Yeah,
for sure.
And I think we even see from her Coachella performance, it seemed she pours a lot, and the other people we've mentioned, they pour a lot into the details of their performance and really put on a whole production, which is why I think they're always in the conversation of oh, are they the next big or the next Beyonce? Because there is some resemblance, or just oh, I can tell they're inspired by her because it seems they care a lot about their craft. And I think that's not a bad thing, and I'd rather go see someone who is extra over the top, extravaganza kind of performance, I spent all this money, I want to see something good, and not just you just standing there, but there actually are some artists, I think, if that's their style, I could see that, more intimate, chill, slow vibes. I do appreciate those artists as well, but these artists, I feel like they go above and beyond, which I really like.
Yeah, definitely. Someone I know that you really been gravitating towards as far as this conversation is Normani.
Oh yes, Normani. I think with any group, I've noticed when they do go solo, people are always saying okay, who's gonna be the star from this group, or who's gonna be the Beyonce of the group. And I do remember when Fifth Harmony did when they went solo, that was a conversation of is it gonna be Normani or the other girls? But I'm sorry, I'm not good with names.
It was 5 of them though, respectfully.
And I'm not gonna lie. Also, it was a time where I felt like their fan base might have been a little younger than us, so I didn't really get into them all that much. I'm not trying to hate or anything. I just didn't get into them. I'm gonna be honest. But when Normani, all of them did go solo, I did gravitate towards Normani, and I really love that song.
Wild Side.
Yes, Wild Side, because I think she sampled one song from Aaliyah, and I really liked it. So.
Yes, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I really like that one too. Even Normani, I can even go back to Motivation. Normani is really the pop girl that we need.
I love her dance.
The vocals, the music, she's beautiful. But I don't know why her label is they're playing with her.
Because I remember, was it 2021 where it seemed like she was creating a big buzz, and I'm like, oh, she's gonna come up with an album and everything, but then all of a sudden it was nothing, and I'm like, man, where has she been? And so the fact that we're gonna get an album this year, I'm really happy or excited to see like what she's gonna do, what her sound's gonna be like, her look, her brand. I really like her. I think she's very talented, and I'm excited to just follow all the like women we listed careers. Because they are such good, they're actual artists. Like what I mean by artists is like they're not just like a singer, like, oh, like just not giving much thought. Like they actually pour into their craft. Like they actually care about the art form of it, not like the fame of it. You know,
like they're all really big on like performance. It's like really just well rounded as far as like the just like the technical things. Like it's one thing to be able to sing, but you have to have stage presence. You have to have, you know, even just how you carry yourself too, like a look.
The creativity, the branding. I really like their vocals. Like when I listen to their music, I'm like, wow, like the instruments and like the stacks of the vocals is really like, and I'm not like the biggest music person or like can sing myself, but I can catch on to those themes. I'm like, oh, this is like what draws me in and everything.
I wanted to bring up one more person that we didn't talk about, but I know like she is a really, really big Beyonce fan too, but Coco Jones.
Yes.
And even though she's not like, you know, like dance
big
wise, but I just think about like the passion that she has and like she really she has vocals and in her music I feel like you really hear the emotions and like the soulfulness and stuff that comes with it, and that's also a big part of it. And I know like whenever she gets a chance and whenever she's asked, like she always brings up Beyonce as a big inspiration to her, and that's something too, especially when Beyonce does like soul and R&B, where she has a moment to really like exaggerate her vocals and show like, okay, like
I love that range. They go, oh, all the runs. I'm like, dang, this girl can sing. When you just sing and you touching my soul, like I'm getting goosebumps. I'm like, oh my gosh, like this is what I paid for. Like this is amazing.
Literally.
So I do like Coco Jones as well. I seen her in person one time. I ran into her, or she was at Black Market Flea, and actually her one friend like touched my arm. She's like, you're so beautiful. I'm like, oh my gosh, thank you. And I didn't know it was Coco Jones with her, and she turned around. She's like, oh, you really are pretty. I'm like, oh, I know you. I didn't say that, but in my head, I was like, oh my gosh, this is the girl, I know her. And I'm like, oh, thank you. And I was like, oh my gosh, like they had me blushing real hard. I was like, oh my gosh, they said I'm pretty. Like, wow. And she's so gorgeous in person. Like,
she's beautiful.
Skin, face card, never declined. Like, she's really pretty. So
she literally looks like a Barbie.
She does. Like, not even joking. She actually like looks even like a little bit more petite in person. I'm not gonna lie, because I'm a very tall girl, and I know she's tall as well. I mean, from the brief interaction, I think I might be a little taller than her. But that I was kind of surprised by that. I'm like, oh, like you actually are a little like smaller in person than I thought, like shorter wise. She's not like short, but a little shorter than me. Yeah.
Well, I guess with like that conversation, will this next generation have a Beyonce? And not like the things that we were just talking about, you know, like being like well-rounded, being able to sing, you know, skill-wise, but just everything that this generation is facing too, you know, like technology is different.
AI.
AI. People attention spans aren't as long as they used to be. Like 2-minute songs is a regular thing now.
That's true.
What else? Even just like how fast people move on, because so much music is coming out all the time. Like,
we're able to be exposed to a lot at once with social media. And you're able to find like, and I think that's like a beauty in it, because it's like you can get discovered that way, and find like everybody can find something that they like, you know. But I guess the con about it is that since there's so much, like just all this music getting pumped out, and then it's like, okay, what's next, and we're not like allowing people to develop or follow their career. It's like, oh, this new girl just came out, let me go see what she's about. Oh, okay, a year or even months later, someone else. So for me, I'm kind of on the fence. Like, I mean, I'm sure it's possible, but with the trends being so fast now, I'm like, I think if we were to have like a next big pop star, they would really have to be able to just have longevity and stay relevant through all the trends. So
for sure,
which
that sounds like it could really be a lot of pressure for artists like coming out today, because it seems like there just isn't enough time in the day to really like sit with projects or sit with music, because it's always more and more music to consume. And even lately, that's been something I've been struggling with. I've been feeling overwhelmed, because I'm like, oh my gosh, this person dropping, this person dropping, this person dropping. And it's like, okay, through the week, I'm trying to listen to everything. And then next week, it's more and more music. It's like more and more music, you know? So, yeah, that, I guess I'm kind of like iffy with as well, especially just because, you know, technology is like a big part of it. Just kind of like how people always kind of compare like Beyonce to Michael Jackson, but in Michael Jackson's era, there was no social media, there was no like, you know, technology wasn't as developed as it is now. People didn't go to the concerts with cell phones and stuff.
And that's a scary thing. And that's something I think I've been trying to catch myself, is like when I went to the Renaissance tour, I did realize like I'm recording a lot, like, but she's right there, you know, like let me put my phone down and actually see, you know, like what's right in front of me. And anytime I see people post like at a festival, you just see all these phones out, and it kind of does give me like a dystopian kind of feel, like what all these movies that come out about it. I'm like, are we like in it? Like, is this the Matrix? You know?
Yeah, it feels like we have too much access, because like back then it's like you had to be there to see.
Yes.
You know? So it's like now when people can go to concerts. And even just thinking about, I just watched Coachella from like the comfort of my bed.
Same.
And you know, I didn't necessarily have to be there in person to see it. So it does kind of take away this like experience to like go and see what artists have to give, because you can just look online and see for yourself. But it's totally different experience from being there in person. And so I feel like, I don't know, it's hard to say, because so many things are changing, but maybe it is possible. It'll just be in a different kind of aspect, because, you know, just like things right now are different from how they've been back then, but then someone could be on their way to like reaching that level of stardom, and who knows what things are going to be like 10 years from now, 15 years from now,
I think we probably have to just wait and see, because like even the people we mentioned, they still are kind of like early on in their careers. So it's like we just have to see like where they'll be by the time we're in our 40s or something, or like 15-20 years from now, and see like who stood the test of time, who was able to have that longevity. And I actually feel like Victoria Monét and like I think I'm forgetting names again, Chloe Bailey and the other women we listed I believe they can. I'm very hopeful. I really like them. And I could see that. And I can also see maybe we won't have like one big pop star, or even like you know how Beyonce's like, she's like the celebrities of the celebrities. Like maybe we won't have one of those, but we'll have like a collective of them. So it won't just be like one person. It will be like multiple of them, which I don't mind.
Yeah, I wouldn't be mad at that either. For sure. I think one person I can kind of see being that big though, especially because it just happened so fast for her, but Doja Cat. And I think I say her specifically just because she's so versatile, and that's kind of like a common theme when you think of like people that have been able to reach that level of stardom. They do everything. Like even thinking back to just Beyonce again, we have pop, R&B, country. So many.
Do you think Doja sings like, or she's more of a rapper?
Both. She's actually someone I listen to for real. Like actually listening to her whole album and like front to back. This last album, she really, in this era that she's kind of in right now, she's been leaning more towards rapping. But the one before that, it was a lot of pop and a lot of singing. Yeah. But she really can sing though. Okay. And then, you know, she's a dancer. And then it's something about her just being different and being herself that I feel like people really like fuck with her because of that. Yeah. Because she's so different.
No, for real. I asked that question because it just got me thinking, like, maybe the next big pop star isn't a vocalist singer. Like, because maybe I need to go back and just listen to more of Doja Cat's music. But I don't know her to be like a singer where she does like runs, like like a Beyonce or like a Whitney Houston or Mariah Carey, like where they hit like really high notes and like do all these like extra things with their vocals. And I feel like this generation doesn't really care about it. They kind of just want to have fun and be entertained, you know, so they're not too focused on like who's the best singer per se, but like who could just like make good music, who can make a hit. Sure. Which I like, and sometimes like I don't want to lose the art though of like a vocalist, you know.
No, seriously, because I think that's definitely important, especially when we're talking about singers. Like you have to be,
you gotta sing.
Yeah, exactly. And now that I think about it too, like Doja sings, but it's not in like a way where she is like doing runs and things like that. But she kind of sings in a way that's like using her voice as an instrument.
I call it rap singing. I always feel like that's like how I describe it personally. Is like when I feel like somebody, they kind of are singing, but it's more of like talking with a little bit of more rhythm. I guess I don't know if that's the right term, but that's how I would classify it as. But then I also don't want to like put people into boxes at all, or like just thinking like the conversation about being like genreless or just being free to like just create music and not put a label on it. But that's just something I've noticed. It seems like other than like Chloe Bailey or the other singers, like where they do hit like high notes or like more vocalists, it seems like people gravitate towards like a rap singing style.
Yeah, no, I get that. That definitely that makes sense. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
Yes, we will see. To be continued. You know? Maybe 15, 20 years will come back. That'll be crazy, right?
Right. No, honestly, I feel like the era, like just thinking like the 60s and the 70s, that was really the blueprint for a lot of what we have going on now. But it just seems like we're so far away from that. Like how you just said, no one's really like people are singing, but that's not like what's mainstream anymore.
Not just singing, sing. Like I need to sing. I need a singer. Like that touches your soul, you know.
And I think I really do love those moments too when there is like singing kind of songs where they really are singing that get popular. Like the first one that comes to mind is like "Made for Me" "Made for Me" by Money Long. Like she was really singing her ass off on that song, and like
how does it go again?
Nobody knows me like you do. Nobody.
All the kids love that song. Like the little kids. So I actually, not that I take it back, but not that like people aren't gravitating toward like people who can sing. Cause I think that definitely is still there. Like with Money Long, I feel like a lot of the younger kids like do gravitate towards her and her vocal, her talent in general. But it doesn't seem like the main priority anymore now.
It just depends on like the song too. Yeah. Because even like speaking of Coco Jones, like it was kind of really cool to see ICU get really big, because that's a really slow R&B song, and R&B isn't like, you know, it's not the most popular genre, it's not mainstream, but I think it is still important to like we need those songs where they're really singing their ass off.
I think a good mixture.
Yeah.
So I hope the next generation like keeps that, like at least have a good balance between the two, because I like a good like singing song and then a song where I'm just like getting hyped and lit. You know, I like my options. You know.
For sure, because honestly, I'm like, I really would love to hear more of like those songs in the club too. Like, have you ever just been a little tipsy and then you start singing your heart out?
Yes, actually, a long time ago when I was 19 and they had like an 18 and up, or 18 and up night. It was a 90s R&B night. Yes. And it was really nice. And I'm like, dang, I want to go to more things like this. Like, let's bring the love back into the clubs, you know? Like, let's slow it down.
Right, where you could sing.
Let's do the slow dance. Yes. I don't think I've ever slow danced in a club. And I actually, when I was younger, I actually think I kind of romanticized about that. Like, oh, like, slow dancing with somebody.
That one R&B night that we went to when we seen, it was me, you, and Miriam, and we seen DJ Ash B. And it was like all those couples in there. It was last year.
Damn, I don't remember this. Was I really drunk?
Oh wait, it was that night.
Okay, that's why.
It was that night when you were feeling.
I drank too much on a basically empty stomach. I don't know why I did that.
It made me feel like that too. Seeing the couples, I'm like, wow, like I should have came with my boyfriend. I came here with y'all, with the girls.
We could have danced together. Yeah, it was.
It was a good time. For sure.
Dang, maybe I'm like, I wish I could remember more.
Yeah, we gotta find an R&B situation this summer for sure.
No, that'd be fun because not gonna get into later because I'm excited. I'm like, I want to go to date parties, but okay, yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I guess with that being said, even though we are like using Beyonce as like a reference, like who is the next Beyonce, like. You know, we talked about it, but it is important to also like give artists the space to be themselves too.
Yeah.
Even just like you touched on it earlier with like Blue Ivy and like Rumi, like her children may be coming up in these spaces and stuff, and it's important for them to like not just be known as, oh, this is Beyonce's daughter, Blue Ivy. Like, this is Blue Ivy. And there's a lot of people that have been able to kind of, like, stray away from that. But, you know, I think we just had to touch on that, too. Because I know people are going to be like, let them be themselves.
Yeah, I already can tell people are going to be typing, nobody can be the next Beyonce. Okay, slow down. Because we're about to get into that. But, yes, I think people can leave their own legacies in their own right, or just have the potential to be like iconic in their own way.
Yeah.
Because I feel like Victoria Monét, Chloe Bailey, Doja Cat, Normani, I'm forgetting somebody else. Who was it?
Oh no, those are.
Okay. They, I feel like, have the potential and are like in the process of creating or developing their own legacy and working up to that icon status, because I think it's something you have to earn. It's not given, you know. And I think rightfully so. Like, if you want to be with the greats or whatever, you're going to have to put that work in. And I definitely see, it seems like they're really up for the challenge and they're putting the work in now. And so we'll see in a decade or two, you know, if they, you know, really, and I'm pretty sure they will have achieved that by now or by then.
Yeah.
But they'll be the next Chloe Bailey. They'll be Victoria Monét. They won't be, because no one could be the next Beyonce, not even the next Michael Jackson. We'll never see that again.
Yeah.
You know, and so I feel like we'll never see another Chloe Bailey or another Normani. They're their own person.
Right. And I think when people kind of like say that, it's just because like those people are really the blueprint that are inspiring another generation to come. Like, when people make those comparisons to, like, oh, Beyonce is our generation's Michael Jackson, it's not saying, oh, Beyonce is Michael Jackson. It's like, who else can we compare Beyonce to? I don't even think it's, like, a comparison either. I think it's more of, like, just that's who she was inspired by too.
Yeah.
And I think even just this conversation of saying like who is the next Beyonce, everybody that we're talking about is literally just inspired by Beyonce. They look up to her, and I think it's just in real life, even when you have a career, there's people you can look at and look up to and say, okay, this is what they did, so this is what I need to do.
Yeah.
And it's not comparing, or it's not saying I'm trying to be better than them or anything like that. It's simply just admiring them, being inspired, and looking up to them and saying like, okay, if I have to look at anybody who came before me and see what they did, it would be this person. Yeah, and Beyonce is that person for them.
Yeah, and then like I think it's like looking for inspiration and then putting your own spin on it, or or your own style.
Right. Still being true to yourself.
Yeah.
And with that being said, too, even just in real life, like, you know, don't ever compare yourself to anybody. There's, again, like, there's people you can look up to, whatever you're trying to do, if it's a certain career, if it's music, if it's sports, like, it's always people to look up to.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with honoring your elders and your ancestors. That's a big part of, you know.
I would say strive to be the next you.
Yeah.
You know, who are you? Let the world see who you truly are, you know.
Right.
And it's okay to pull inspiration from others, but really, like, who are you at the end of the day, you know? And you can't compare like your day one to someone's like 100th day, you know. You have to just, I feel like, stick to what you're doing and develop from there.
Yeah. Exactly. So definitely remember that and stand on being you, but it is definitely okay to be inspired and to look up to people. And it doesn't even necessarily have to be like in a different generation or people that came before you. You can be inspired by somebody that's neck and neck with you, that's sitting right next to you and stuff. But I think it just all comes back to how can you take those qualities and learn from them but still being yourself.
Yes, I love that. I think that's a good way to end this.
Yes, so thank you guys again for tuning in. Of course, you know, follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Threads. We love our Thread community.
Yeah, shout out to y'all.
Yes, shout out to the Beehive on Threads, YouTube, and we are on streaming, dropping every Friday. So see us here again for the next conversation. Yes. And thank you guys again for the support.
Bye.
Bye.